Ann Jeffries as Marion Kirby, the ghostess with the mostest. Robert Sterling as George Kirby, that most sportive spirit. And Leo G. Carroll, host to said ghosts, as Topper.
I'll type him up immediately, Mr. Topper.
Good morning, Topper. Man, I feel solid this morning. Got me a new supply of ectoplasm.
What do you want?
Well, I tell you, I've been thinking, Top. It's time I go to work. No reason why ghosts should make big money just like live people.
Oh? What do you have in mind?
Banking, of course. Short hours, pretty secretaries, lots of money.
I hope you weren't thinking of this bank.
Where else? I have pull here.
What makes you think so?
Listen, don't you want to help me be a big tycoon?
No. And I wish you'd go away.
What's that, Topper?
I said, you need a rest, Mr. Schuyler. I wish you'd go away.
Don't need a rest. I want to speak to you in my office.
Am I hired?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you don't have to call me sir. Just Mr. Kirby.
Oh, Topper, I'd like to look over your analysis on the Utilities Corporation.
I have it right here.
Did you see that?
Yes, Light and Power Company, floating alone.
Oh, if anyone calls me, I'll be out to lunch. I said if anyone calls me, I'll be out to lunch. Well, come, my good woman. Don't just sit there and ignore me. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's ignorance. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's ignorance.
What does she think she's doing?
She's had a hard day. Probably unwinding.
I'll give it to you in a nutshell, Topper. Our branch bank in Lisbon, South Carolina, is being run very badly.
What are we going to do about it?
Well, I'm not through. Harry Devon, Lisbon's biggest businessman, flew up here over the weekend to ask us what we're going to do about it. And he threatens to withdraw his accounts.
I see. I take it you want me to go down there and straighten things out.
You'll have to leave tonight. You know Lester, don't you? Our branch manager in Washington?
Ike Lester? I've known him for 20 years.
Well, phone him before you leave. He'll meet you when your train stops in Washington and give you further details. Good luck, Topper. Oh, and, Topper, don't mention this to anyone, except to your wife, of course, for the sake of the bank's reputation.
I won't mention it to a living soul. Not even a dead one.
Yeah.
102, under, over, cable around the neck. Neil, don't go so tight. Let's see, one more row and we'll have the sweater finished. Oh, I'm sorry, Neil. I didn't know you were ready. George, we better hurry.
Hello, darling. Hi, Neil.
Oh, I'm so glad you're home, darling. Did you have a hard day at the bank?
Oh, murder. I'm in the investment department. Here.
Oh, your salary?
No, it's my laundry. I had to work so hard today I changed my shirt twice. Hey, Neil, be a good fellow, will you, and get my slippers for me? My slippers.
George, take off your jacket, dear.
Huh?
You know, I haven't been idle either. If my husband can work, so can I.
A sweater? You knitted it all by yourself?
All by myself. You. Here, now, try it on.
Okay.
Now. The sleeves.
Well, that's all right, honey. If we ever get invited to a masquerade, I can always go as a penguin. Help me out of it, will you? What's that?
Oh.
Neil, I said my slippers.
And maybe he thought you said clippers. Neil, go back now. Go get his slippers for his feet. Slippers!
Turn on the television set, will you, honey? I want to relax for an hour.
Oh, I wish Top would get a new one. This one's always getting out of whack.
Well, I hope it's working now. I don't want to miss that new spy program, Treason.
What channel is it on?
No, I don't know. Just fish around. You got anything?
I got Channel 3.
What's on it?
Channel 2.
Never mind, I'll get it myself. Neil, not kippers, slippers.
But the riots have been quelled and order has returned to the city. Washington, a delegation of State Department officials and a group of financial advisors handpicked by the president himself are embarking tonight for Portugal on a secret
Is that
mission.
treason?
Not if the president sent them.
No, I mean the program, the spy program.
No, dear, that was just a news broadcast. Wait a minute. I think this is it.
Treason. Treason. 30 minutes of thrilling adventure and intrigue featuring Gabriel Clark as the master spy Dupre. Tonight's episode of Treason finds Dupre masquerading as an itinerant tinker in a European city seething with foreign agents and known as the Powdered...
Hey, leave that alone.
But first, a few words from our sponsor. A single trial will convince you that nowhere, at no price, can you duplicate... And now, don't touch that dial. You've got to listen to Treason.
I thought you'd never come. I left my key again.
Cosmo, there's something wrong with our television set. Every time I shut it off, it goes on again by itself.
Yes, it's that new automatic tuning control. It has no control. Oh, by the way, the bank's sending me down to South Carolina, a town called Lisbon.
Oh, Cosmo, how exciting. When do we leave?
Not we, dear. Me. Just me. Tonight. I have to put a call through to Washington. Will you run upstairs and start my packing? I'll join you later.
How long will you be gone?
Oh, just long enough to make the call, dear.
I mean in Lisbon.
Well, I don't know. 2 or 3 days.
Well, I'll lay out your things. You'll want something southern.
Well, a nice mint julep and a bale of cotton will do, I think. Long distance? I want to place a person-to-person call with Mr. Isaac Lester, Washington, D.C. Capital 34965. This is Globe 42918. Will you ring me? Yes, thank you. George, I want a word with you. If you'll just step out onto the patio.
Oh, no. Anything you have to say to me, you can say in front of my wife and my dog.
Very well. I want you to stay away from the bank, for one thing.
I thought I did fine.
As a result of your husband's ingenious speculations, the bank was almost wiped out by noon.
It was still solvent when the market closed.
Only by the merest luck. Now listen to me, both of you. I'm leaving town tonight.
Where are you going?
It's a secret mission.
Can we go with you?
I'm traveling alone. That's for me. Long distance call. Very private.
Well, come, Marion. Come, Neil.
Hello? Thank you. Hello? Yes, this is Cosmo Topper.
Come on, Neil. I'll make you a nice hot cup of gin.
Otto, is it hot or cold in Lisbon?
Of course, Ike.
Lisbon? Is that where he's going?
Marion, that broadcast about the State Department sending a secret delegation to Portugal?
Oh, George, do you suppose
Lisbon. The powder keg of Europe. He said it was a confidential mission.
Oh, no.
And he's on the phone to Washington right now. Probably talking to some very high official.
I'm going to listen in.
Eavesdropper.
Yes. Yes, I understand the need for secrecy. No one knows about this trip except my wife. You'll meet me at the train? Good, then I'll see you in the morning. Thank you, Ike. Goodbye.
George. Ike.
The announcer said that the men were handpicked by the president.
Oh, I can hardly wait to meet him. Only I'll have to wait. Topper doesn't want us along.
Wait a minute, Marion. I have a feeling this is going to be a very dangerous mission. It's our duty to go to protect Topper.
George, you're so right. I haven't been to Europe in years. And I've never been to Portugal.
Just think, honey. When we get to Washington, Ike is going to meet us at the station.
Be sure and phone me the minute you get to Lisbon and let me know if you got there safely. Now, is anything you've forgotten?
I can't remember. Oh, yes. Please send this wire to Harry Devon in Lisbon.
Harry Devon?
He's a big depositor. I want to arrange a meeting. Well, I think you'd better be running along now, dear.
All right, Cosmo. Take care of yourself and be sure to write me.
Yes, very well, dear. The minute I get back.
Honey, he's in there.
How do you know?
I just saw Henrietta leave.
Quick, George, here comes the porter.
There's nothing to be afraid of. Nobody can see us but Topper.
Yes, dear, I have plenty of underwear. I know, but it's only the steam from the train. Gesundheit. You better run along now, dear. You'll catch cold. Oh, Porter, where's the dining car?
Sorry, sir, the diner's full. We were serving in the club car straight back.
Oh, thanks very much.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Not at all. I rather enjoyed it.
I don't like the looks of her.
I do.
George, you're supposed to be Countess 5. That woman might be a Mata Harry.
Well, I'll follow her and find out.
George, you don't either. Now with Topper in the club car, now's the time to search.
For what?
For bombs, of course.
Perfect. You search his room, and I'll search the woman.
George.
There is a bomb in here. It's certainly well hid.
Maybe they're not going to use a bomb. Maybe they're going to try to poison him.
Oh, for heaven's sake. He finally brought me a pair of slippers. That's what I call slow reflexes.
Poison? George, Topper went in the club car to eat, and that blonde spy followed him.
Well, let's go. from eating that food.
I thought I saw her put something in his water.
Why don't we bump into the table and we can switch the plates and the glasses? Oh, but then he might recognize us.
Why don't we just dematerialize?
Now, why didn't I think of that?
Well, I hope you enjoy your trip.
George, come quick.
What are you so excited about?
That woman, that blonde, she's got the compartment next to Topper.
Well, that is something to be excited about.
And she's with a man. And they're talking about Lisbon.
What?
Darling, we've got to get rid of him before we get to Lisbon.
Hey, this is serious. We better get busy.
I should never have hired him, Harry. He's the worst valet I've ever seen.
You should have fired him before we left New York instead of bringing him on the train.
He can get off at Washington.
Hand me my headache pills, will you, honey?
Honestly, Harry, you're the worst hypochondriac.
I am not. I just got worried, that's all. I'm worried about the bank, and I'm worried about my health.
Well, I found something for Topper to defend himself with.
Where'd you get that?
I sniped it from the guard in the mail car. Now I've got to find some place to hide it where he can find it easily. That ought to be easy enough, huh?
Topper, quick.
What time do we reach Washington?
Neil, for Pete's sake, don't just sit there. Disappear, you big lush.
I'm not sure, sir, but I'll check for you. Thank you, Porter.
Do you think you can fix it?
I'm doing my best.
George, what is he doing?
Obviously preparing a lethal weapon. It's a good thing for Topper we're here. Devilishly clever. He's camouflaged it as a radio.
There you are.
What's the matter, Harry? George, did you hear that? Master Harry.
What did I tell you? Let's get out of here.
George, they must be foreign spies.
Amazing American accent the man has, huh?
Hey, what are we going to do?
I don't think Topper realizes the danger he's in. We've got to protect him with our lives.
Yeah, but we haven't got any.
Well, nevertheless, I better get that gun back. Come on.
Oh, thank you, Porter. Just a minute.
Get rid of the gun. Here comes Topper.
George. Mario. Are you on this train?
Too proud to wear glasses.
Thanks, honey. Send that telegram right away, will you? It's got to get there before morning.
Don't worry, darling. It'll go off at the next stop.
George! Hey, I thought you were on this train.
George, you idiot. Let me out. George, you idiot. Let me out. Let me out.
What the deuce do you think you're doing?
We're saving your life.
Stop this infernal nonsense at once.
You hear that?
It's in the next compartment.
What is it?
It's a bomb. A time bomb.
Don't give yourself away, old man. These foreign spies are clever. Devilishly clever. Hiding the bomb in their own room. They've lit the fuse.
Stop! It's slowing down. It's stopping.
Keep searching. That bomb's set to go off any minute.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Lie still, Topper. Our lives mean nothing. But the very future of the country may depend on yours. You've gone insane. Lift me up. Oh! And who's in there?
The head spy. Mata Harry's husband.
Let me out!
Hey, George, why didn't the bomb go off?
Help!
Must be a delayed fuse. Devilishly clever.
Let me out of here! Help!
Harry! Topper, get them out of here. They'll all be blown to pieces.
Oh, my pills.
Which one?
All of them.
What happened, sir?
I don't know. I just wound my alarm clock, and the whole compartment seemed to come apart, and somebody suddenly locked me in my berth.
I found this man closing the berth.
But I assure you,
What's your name, sir?
Topper.
Well, my name's Devon. Harry Devon. And I intend to sue you for assault and battery.
Harry Devon from Lisbon, South Carolina.
He's obviously been following me.
I was just on my way down to Lisbon to meet you. Sent by Mr. Schuyler.
Lisbon, South Carolina? Hey, George, what do you make of that?
They even moved Lisbon. Devilishly clever.
But I assure you, Mr. Devon, I came in when I heard you pounding on the wall. And the berth was already up.
Berths just do not go up by themselves.
Oh, they don't, huh?
Hey! Oh! Let me out of here!
Who did that? It went up by itself.
It seems to me you ought to check these things more carefully. Why, a man might suffocate.
Harry, Mr. Topper set you free just in time.
Well, so he did.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Devon. I'll have you transferred to another compartment right away.
Yeah, I should think so.
Mr. Topper, my profoundest apologies, sir. And I'm sure we can settle this bank business with no further difficulty.
Have some cough medicine.
Don't drink that, Topper. It's poison.
What are you doing, sir?
Well, it says shake well before using.
Yes, you did a splendid job down there in Lisbon, Topper. Splendid. Now, what can we do for you? That's asking just a little too much, Topper.
A John W. Lupton, Bernard L. Schubert production. Produced by John W. Lupton. Starring Ann Jeffries, Robert Sterling, and Leo G. Carroll.
Jeffries as Marion Kirby, the ghostess with the mostest. Robert Sterling as George Kirby, that most sportive spirit. And Leo G. Carroll, host to said ghosts, as Topper.
I'll type him up immediately, Mr. Topper.
Good morning, Topper. Man, I feel solid this morning. Got me a new supply of ectoplasm.
What do you want?
Well, I tell you, I've been thinking, Top. It's time I go to work. No reason why ghosts should make big money just like live people.
Oh? What do you have in mind?
Banking, of course. Short hours, pretty secretaries, lots of money.
I hope you weren't thinking of this bank.
Where else? I have pull here.
What makes you think so?
Listen, don't you want to help me be a big tycoon?
No. And I wish you'd go away.
What's that, Topper?
I said, you need a rest, Mr. Schuyler. I wish you'd go away.
Don't need a rest. I want to speak to you in my office.
Am I hired?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you don't have to call me sir. Just Mr. Kirby.
Oh, Topper, I'd like to look over your analysis on the Utilities Corporation.
I have it right here.
Did you see that?
Yes, Light and Power Company, floating alone.
Oh, if anyone calls me, I'll be out to lunch. I said if anyone calls me, I'll be out to lunch. Well, come, my good woman. Don't just sit there and ignore me. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's ignorance. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's ignorance.
What does she think she's doing?
She's had a hard day. Probably unwinding.